Hey guys, it's Fatz and I'm here with Max.
What's going on? I'm Max, I'm here with Fatz.
So we connected online and we're both local, both in similar interests. Do you want to introduce yourself quick?
By all means, so I'm Max, I'm 23, I'm a hypnotist, and I help people rewire their minds. I help them sort of release a lot of fears, worries, struggles. I've worked with trauma, anxiety and stuff like that in the past, but I'm really working and diving into fears now, because what I've realised is fear holds us back from everything. Fear to change, fear to speak to people, fear to ask that girl out, fear to ask that guy out, fear to ask for that raise. Like, don't get me wrong, there are other things, like there's traumas, there's physical ailments that people have, but what I've noticed from working with a lot of people, fear is the biggest issue, and once you break through that fear barrier, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what I'm working with, and I'm sure we'll dive into a bit more of my story, but effectively that's it. I'm a hypnotist and I help people change their life.
So you got like clients and people come to you and you help coach people and get over a lot of these fears. What would you say like your biggest kind of client base is? Is it entrepreneurs? Is it people just everyday people? Is it people who are managers? Have you got a basis that you usually work with, or is it kind of diverse and everybody kind of? Yeah.
So essentially, my target market was female entrepreneurs, because that's what I noticed were coming to me. Executives, entrepreneurs, sort of like in that industry, but it's starting to broaden a bit. I'm seeing a lot more men now, which is good, because as you already know, we've spoken about this before, and how it's starting to be talked about a lot more. A lot more men are being open to it. A lot more men are open to crying. Do you know what I mean? And I say in my sessions, you're most likely going to cry. If we go into a lot of the deep stuff. So target market wise, and sort of the most people that come to me now, it's really starting to vary. I've had people ages 21, I've had people ages 60. Some people that are a lot older find it quite difficult to accept information from me because I'm so young, which I understand. That doesn't take any credit away from me, because I know I can help them.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate I'm not everyone's teacher, I'm not everyone's I don't want to use the word therapist because I don't like to be a therapist, but I'm not there to help everyone, but I can help everyone, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The age thing, I think, is kind of broadened to every industry. I think a lot of people become, I don't know if it's egotistical, but a lot of people are like, I can't take rules or I can't take orders from somebody who's younger than me, because I either respect your elders or I've been in the game longer. And especially when people come out of university and college and they've done years and years to get degrees, and somebody be like, well, you're younger than me, you don't know what you're talking about. Or do you see a lot of that? Do you hear about a lot of that?
No, I don't. I really don't. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a few people that have it's happened to. One of them, which stands out the most, is one of my mum's friends. She had cancer, and I was like, I'll do some work for you for free. I was like, just to help you, because she was in a lot of pain. And it was very difficult for her to accept it, because she knew who I was before. So she knew me as taking drugs, drinking a lot of the time, getting into fights. So immediately, her perception of me was, nah, this guy can't be my therapist or whatever, because at the time I was doing more therapy stuff. He can't be my therapist, like he's... And not that she was judgmental at all, I'm not saying she was, but I understand that it's difficult to accept that from someone who's done that, because now people that see my stuff, my content, they know me as Max online. They know me as someone who actively helps people, who makes this content, who is a hypnotist, who is very confident in that way. So I don't see it too much. In fairness, and there's a lot of people that do accept it, which is amazing. Do you know what I mean? And being a teacher to everyone, I feel like such a good thing. People that there's always going to be people, like, we're all on the same level. Do you know what I mean? There's no sort of like, I'm better than you, you're better than me sort of thing. We're all on the same level. But there's some things that I know nothing about that you know a lot about, and I'd be open to listening to your wisdom and definitely taking and learning stuff from you, and vice versa. I'm sure it would be the same. And there's so many people that will do that, but not everyone will, and there's something we've got to accept, I think.
Very much so, and you touched down just there as, there's two things I want to ask you about. Is one, the perception that people have of you from something you did before, so they can't accept your change now. And two, people need to become open-minded. Is it doesn't matter how long somebody's been in something, doesn't matter how many degrees or qualifications they got. Somebody out there can teach you some new shit, even 100%. If you don't think they can.
100%.
We can learn from everybody and every situation. So referring back to people can't accept your change, or they've seen your change before. Did you get a lot of that when you were transitioning from drink, drug and violence? Was you transitioning and people were like, nah, you can't be good, you can't do good things?
Well, Immediately, I cut off from everything. I literally went boom, boom. Like, here I was, gone, absolutely gone. And I wanted to just quickly touch on what you said about depending on how long people have been in the game. If you look at like a very young footballer, you don't say, "No, you're too young to be in it." Like, I don't know football too well, but I know Marcus Rashford. I believe he's very young.
Yeah.
Was 20 odd, something like that.
Yeah, he's a very young man.
Yeah. He's better than a lot of other football players that are 29, 30 odd. So age really is. It's down to your skill base. If you can do it, you can do it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, to answer your question, what was the question again?
People accepting your change.
That's it. So I cut off from everything, and there was times where people were saying to me, "Max, you're coming out, you're coming drinking, you're coming this, you're coming out doing this," and I just started making up excuses. And it was, "No, I've got no money," which then manifested itself, and I never had any money, and I ended up losing my job, and then I literally I went completely broke, had to sell all my stuff, TV, shoes, clothes, just to eat food. I was still living at home at the point, but we were going through a lot of financial troubles. My dad doing all this stuff. I said he attacked my mum and all that kind of stuff, which left us to having to move out of our house to rent a house, which we couldn't really afford. And my sister had to move back in with us just to help us pay the bill. So it was a bit of a tough time. But now things are blossoming beautifully, and my mum's in an amazing relationship with her new boyfriend who, he's pretty much my stepdad, and he's just such a great guy. He's just complete opposite of my dad, and he's just such a great man.
Nice.
But yeah, it's I didn't really have people. I mean, I did have people doubt me. Like, "No, you'll never do that." And because my immediate thing when I stopped the drugs and the drink was, I want to be rich, I want to be famous. That was it. That was literally it. I kid you not. I kid you not. That's it. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have 10 Lamborghinis. Don't get me wrong. I still love all that stuff, and there will be a point in my life where I will have all that stuff, but not to the detriment of I want to prove my point to people just because I love the stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I was very much the same. I just wanted to reach loads of people. At the beginning, somebody said to me 2 days ago, it was like, "Oh, remember years ago when you wanted to get loads of views on a video?" I was like, "Yes." And when I got my first 1,000 views a couple of years back, I was like, "Yes, I've got 1,000 views." And they was like, "Oh, now you've made it." I was like, "Bollocks." One of the videos got 1 million views. I was like, "Damn it, I still have to pay bills and do stuff."
It's not quite. It's not. Yeah, I know what you mean, because I went on TikTok and overnight. Went to, like, one night I got 15,000 followers on it. I was literally watching it. I was refreshing. I was like 300. I was like, "What is going on?" I was like, "What the hell?" And recently, it's just absolutely just stopped, and now my views are dropped. I don't know what's going on, but it's one of those things.
The algorithms on TikTok are absolutely crazy.
It's weird.
I've taken time out. TikTok in itself, I think, is a beautiful blessing. But as I'm looking at TikTok, as I'm watching TikTok, and I see Reels on Instagram doing the same thing. So running the social media company, I've got to keep up with like the trends and what people are using. And one of the addictive things, I read a book called Hooked, and one of the addictive things about a platform called Pinterest. So it's like 70 to 80% women. But Pinterest is just clipping these pictures to your clipboard or your page. But because when you scroll through Pinterest, the bottom of the page shows new content. So you don't go from post to post, you'll go from pictures, but you'll see a lot of the other pictures, especially when you're a viewer. And what it does is it keeps you hooked, and your addictive mindset is, what's that, and you keep scrolling, and you spend hours. And the same with TikTok, people get lost for hours. And I think it's just detrimental.
But what I noticed, and some girl that I follow actually posted something on Instagram, and she said, "I'm stopping watching TikToks and stopping watching Reels because it's reducing my attention span," which is so true. Like, I'll go on TikTok and I'll look at a video and I'll be like, "Oh, this is going on for too long." It's like, "No, it's not. It's only about 40 seconds, mate." It's like 40 seconds. If you don't have an attention span of 40 seconds, something needs to change. So I actually encourage myself to. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I listen more than I read. I like to watch long form content on YouTube.
Nice.
Reason being is I want to keep that attention span. Like, I don't really watch much TV. The only TV that I watch is, I suppose, films. I love like Avengers and stuff like that. I absolutely love that stuff. I was like, I'm going to get an Avengers leg sleeve.
Black Widow's out this month, isn't it?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I've been watching Loki, and I'm just like looking forward to it every week. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that I watch on TV will be things like I was saying about I want to bring out that Netflix thing, and I'm watching Darren Brown's stuff, so I'm actually learning what does he do to create this and make it so engaging.
Yeah.
I like long form podcasts and stuff like that. I'm watching people on podcasts. I prefer to watch than listen to a podcast. I don't know, it's just the way that I prefer to do it. It's where I represent the world is a more visual way. So I like to watch. So doing something like this, I'd much rather be sitting here watching it.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's just more engaging. I don't know why. Even though there's not much going on and I'm getting the same information, just watching it is just that much.
It is nice, and a lot of people do. So I usually break down the content to like minute segments or a few minute segments, and I put it up as an IGTV. So say this part we're talking about social media, and I'll touch back on that section in a second. But a lot of people do come on, they'll look at the whole hour and they'll be like, "Oh, I watched that. Like, did you? I didn't realise people do that."
Yeah.
But there is people out there like yourself who do like the long form content.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and I've read a few books and statistics saying over the years, because we've had so much access and so much instant gratification, you know, our attention span's gone, our self gratification, our self love, our self worth, it's all dwindling down because we want things so instantly. You know, we don't want to hear about what's going on in the world on the news because it's too long. We can go on to Google, or we can ask a friend on Facebook.
Exactly.
You know, and we get lost in hours and hours and hours on TikTok. I could be scrolling through TikTok and I'll be like, fucking hell, that's 2 hours gone.
Yeah.
And that was when the videos were 60 seconds. Now they've just been up to 3 minutes.
Exactly.
TikTok are now allowing people to do 3-minute videos. And you think to yourself, nah, I'm not going to watch a 3-minute. Fuck, I just watched 6 3-minute videos. That's 10 minutes of my life and gone nearly.
It is mad how social media works. And
Yeah.
I mean, but like you said, putting the little clips as well is so powerful because if people are going to be stuck watching stuff, at least they can get something from it.
That's a lot of
because,
what
you know what I mean? Like, watching your videos, it makes you go, huh, that's so true.
Yeah,
it just makes you think. So in between all those, don't get me wrong, I love those little funny videos, all the stupid things I watch, and I kid you, I cry with laughter at some videos, and I'll have to watch them over and over again. But when you see those little ones, it sort of makes TikTok and social media, gives it a good reason why you're watching it at the end of the day. It gives you something of actual value rather than just laughter. But at the same time, I suppose laughter is value because you're putting yourself in a good mood. So
I think we should limit ourselves though, especially when it comes to social media. And I need to write a blog about it and do a video about it. But I feel like, you know, I've had the title in my head for the blog for a long time. Are we Netflixing our life away? For one, because there's so many people who will go on Facebook and be like, hey, what's a new series to watch? And I'm thinking to myself, bro, you've just binge watched 3 series back to back. That might be 160 hours, say, of binging you've done. And it takes 100 hours to learn a new habit or skill. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, just divert that attention span. You might learn something new, which could change your job, change your income, change your life, change your mental health, change everything you do. 100%. But people don't want to hear that.
No.
And I think a lot of it's so easy because it's accessible. We're like, fuck it, I'm going to binge watch something. Yeah.
Download free. Well, other than Netflix, you pay and it's still pennies.
Yeah.
7-8 quid a month. It's not
just to get on there and just binge it away.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, and it comes down to TikTok as well. And I would love to do more longer videos, but then I feel to myself, if I go to the 3-minute mark, then I've got to do 3-minute videos for everybody to keep watching, and I don't really want to have it longer term or longer form content, because then I know people are going to be lost even longer, and I want to be able to be hard hitting, instant, get that done, get off, go do your thing.
Yeah.
But I know people want that as well. They want the 3-minute videos. They want to go watch the hour-long interview. They want to go watch the 1 minute or the 15 seconds. I can't even remember when I did a 15-second video. What would I say? All right, guys, it's Fatz, and I want to talk about. Fuck, I've run out of time.
Well, ironically, you can get I talk quite fast. I feel like we both talk quite fast. But I did a video yesterday and it was 15 seconds, and that's it. I posted it. I said, I was like, 1 add 1 or 1 plus 1 doesn't always equal 2, and I was like, and that's proof that if 1 add 1 doesn't always equal 2, like, there's no one right answer to life. And the way I explained it was, if there's one group of people and another group of people, you've got 2 groups. 1 plus 1 equals 1 group, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, I was like,
oh yeah,
shit, that's so true. So if 1 add 1 doesn't always equal 2, there's no one right answer to life.
No.
So what I'm saying works for me. It may work for you, it may work for millions of other people, but it won't work for everyone, I guarantee you that, because there's people out there that there's people that kill people. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to care about me saying you can change your life. They don't care. They don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? They really do not care. But what you said about like getting stuck down the rabbit hole and spending hours and hours and hours of watching or listening to content, I take a lot of pride in my Audible of how many days I've listened to books.
That's good.
I'll have to get it up, but it is something ridiculous. Like.
But that's a good thing. I think if you can look at the hours that you spend on Audible, I think that's an investment in yourself, because the books that you're listening to, or even podcasts,
100%.
Again, you're feeding your mindset with that goodness.
That's it. 20 days, 18 hours and 51 minutes.
That's nice.
So in the hours, what's that? 20 days times 24, whatever that is.
So you're nearly up to a month of your year done.
Exactly.
On Audible. So you've nearly spent a month listening or reading, essentially.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. When I left school, I really couldn't read. I was an alright kid in school. Got in a bit of trouble. Never anything ridiculously bad at school.
Yeah.
Like a few little things, but never like kicked out or anything like that. When I remember, have you ever read the book The Secret?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first book that got me reading. And I remember my sister's old boss, when I just wanted to be rich, just wanted to be famous. He was a multi-millionaire Forex trader. And that's how I came across Forex and stuff like that. And I remember she was like, "Oh, he reads this book called The Secret," and he said he like really like uses it as his Bible effectively. I've never been religious. I'm much more of a spiritual person, but she told me about it, and then she gave it to me, and I was like, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm and literally to the point where I'm reading it. Take chances, and only regret the things you didn't do. That's literally that was my pace of reading.
Yeah.
And I remember going through this book and getting to the end of it and being like, I've actually finished a book. I've actually finished it. And then I read another book. And I don't read so much. I prefer audio. That's my personal preference.
Yeah. I've got some friends
as long as I'm getting the information, I don't really care.
Yeah.
If I'm watching it, if I'm listening to it, if I'm reading it, it's just a different way of doing it, and like I said, there's not one way that works in life.
No, I've got a friend of mine who does podcasts. He's into his fishing, so he listens to fishing podcasts all the time. It's a hobby he loves, but he's not going to read a fishing book, but he listens to podcasts. Another friend of mine, I tried to get them both on books for years. Another friend of mine, same as you, he's like, I seen him the other day. I haven't seen him for a very long time. He was like, "Hey, Fatz, I'm reading now." I was like, "What?" What do you mean you're reading? You've never read in your life. How are you reading?
Can you read?
Yeah. And somebody in the room said, "Can you read?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like, I was like, "What the fuck? What are you reading?" He was like, property stuff. I was like, "What?"
Wow.
I was like, "Nice." He was like, "Yeah, Audible." I was like, "Oh, so you're listening to it?" But I don't care, bro. That is amazing. The information's going, whether it's podcast, video, you're reading, the information's going in.
100%.
And I was just so surprised at him listening to audio, and then we started talking about the property aspects and what he's learned, and he was going into so much detail about buys to let and how much you can get for this, and you don't need to get this many back payments of that, you don't need that many for that, you only need 25 for that. I was like, the fuck? I'm like, bro,
you learn a lot.
Send me what you're listening to. And I'm thinking to myself, that is amazing. He's taken out so much information. He's taken up so much just from listening to audibles, like you say. And you can do it when you're washing up, and you can do it when you're down the gym. And, I listen to some podcasts down the gym. I was so impressed and so happy that he took it in. Yeah, he didn't take it on the reading where I annoyed him for years. Like, come on, you got to read, you got to change your life, you got to read, you got to change your life.
Don't, do they?
No, because me and him used to do a lot of crimes together. So for me, when I started reading, I was like, you've got to read, it will change your life. And it come to a point I was really fucking annoying, because I was telling everybody they need to read.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck off. And Christmas birthdays, I'd buy people books, and they're like, let's go on a fire, fuck off.
Yeah.
And when he did that, I was like, yes, my man did it. He changed his life, he's changed his mindset, he's got so much in education. And it's like what you said, you can be proud of your 20 days of non-stop quality information 100%. Feeding your brain.
100%.
And it's nice to be able to track that as well. So I'd like to see how many days he's done, and I need to get the Audible as well.
Because that's the thing, that's what I love about technology. Technology is amazing, also bad at the same time.
Yeah.
But like everything, do you know what I mean? Driving, it's amazing, but it could be bad. You could crash a car, you could get into a fatal accident. But we take the good from it. I don't think about every day, I'm going to avoid every fatal accident. No, I get in the car and I drive. Do you know what I mean? I trust that everyone else driving has passed their test.
Yeah.
because realistically, what is separating me from you driving a car and head-on collision?
Yeah.
A white imaginary line. There's not even a barrier in it. It's an imaginary line that we just believe everyone's going to stick to.
Yeah.
Is that quite naive to think? Possibly.
It's scary. Like you said, some
Yeah.
people just want to go out and kill people.
Exactly. So the fact that so everything has good and bad to it, we can use these apps to track our stuff. We can use Instagram, we can use TikTok, we can use YouTube for good.
Yeah.
Or we can get that stuck down a rabbit hole and start watching like videos about, I don't know, stuff that is just actually just draining you completely, because it's just got no value towards it. I don't even know what I could class that content as, because I do believe there's a lot of content creators that genuinely just want to give people those little holidays.
Yeah.
There was a guy I watched that he travels, and he said not everyone has the ability to travel, so watching my 15-minute video is giving you your taste of travelling every week, every few days or whatever, which I was like, I really like that actually. It's you're on the beach in the Maldives, and people are watching because they want to be on the beach in Maldives. Maybe they can't afford it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe they're setting themselves some goals and they're going to start to work towards it. Obviously not everyone's going to, but we can hope more people will.
Very much so. Yeah, so you just said that the geezer who does all the travelling, this guy who does the travelling, he does it for people to experience that, and they live that life of I've travelled. That sparked something in my head then. The young people that I used to connect with, or when I used to listen to rap music, it's now drill music.
Yeah.
In my head, I will be reciting lyrics that are quite detrimental. Like, I'm a drug dealer, I get all this money. I didn't live that lifestyle.
People.
Yeah, but then I would carry knives, so I'd try to sell drugs and I'd try to stack money. So it does influence our head and our minds in not so much the travel guide. That's obviously really nice for people to see the sights and aim or perspire to be that. But a lot of people, I think, are brainwashed when they listen to the wrong shit.
100%.
And that comes down to, you know, what you're watching on TikTok and what... I see a lot of quotes of people saying social media is negative, social media is bad for your mental health, and social media needs to be deleted. And I'm like, bro, your news feed is what you choose to have feeding your brain. The people you follow, you know, if you're watching Towie or Sex on the Beach, is it Sex on the Beach or
X on the Beach? Yeah. I used to love that. I used to love all that stuff. And
you're watching it like, oh, I wish I had that body. Oh, they're arguing again.
Yeah,
like,
let me argue with my missus and get into a punch up, because it's what they do.
It's okay to cheat because everybody on that show is doing it. So it starts feeding your mindset, and you're like, you're really addicted. You're addicted to drama. You're addicted to sex. You're addicted to violence, and you're like, fuck. And then you're getting jealous about everybody's body on there. And there's no wonder the people come off of there and they're filled with so many mixed emotions that unfortunately some of them have taken their own lives.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's the biggest thing. Things like Love Island, isn't it? Like there's 3 people. What was it? Mike, Sophie, and then what was it, Caroline Flack as well?
Yeah.
Like
it's horrible.
They couldn't cope. They couldn't cope. Like they went from, and admittedly they went from literally not being, well, other than Caroline Flack, 0 to like millions of followers, millions of people knowing them, walking outside. And like, imagine tomorrow you just walked outside and there was a crowd of people. Initially I'd probably be, I quite like this, but then eventually it would start to get a bit detrimental. And you got people going, oh, what have you done with your hair? Why have you got those shit tattoos? Oh, you're too hairy. Like, I'm so hairy. Oh, you're too hairy. Maybe I'll start shaving it all off because I'll be worried about what people think, and that stuff does play on us. But what you said, especially about the music, I feel it's very important to be aware of what we take in. Because like you said, I remember I would sit there listening to songs like about fighting, violence, drugs, all this stuff, rap. There's some rappers that you listen to it and you're like, you're really smart. Like the words you use are really, really smart. And you listen to some of them, they're like, they don't say I'm stacking paper. They're like, I'm making abundance. I'm creating abundance. I'm generating wealth. And they're talking about this stuff. I love myself and stuff. And you're like, oh shit, you know what you're talking about. Yeah. But then there's other people that talk about, I can't remember his name, but I remember it was literally, it was something like I stabbed him up, and I remember me and my mates would listen to it like going like that, like
The drill music nowadays is absolutely horrendous. I mean, I know there's freedom of speech and expression and that, but a lot of people are going on there and they're literally talking about crimes they've committed, or they know somebody's committed, and they're like, yeah, I stabbed him and took his bag. What? And then there's kids like, seaside town kids like Eastbourne and Brighton, or some farmer kids down Devon. They're like, yeah, listen to that, now I carry a knife. You're like, right, you listen to a song or a few songs that's programmed your mind to think that way of life is acceptable or okay because it's seen as cool.
Yeah. Well, that's why I work with the mind, and I love. If we can be influenced so negatively, my question is, can we be influenced so positively? The answer is yes.
Yeah, massively.
Can like there's little things that I'll do when I'm speaking to people, that because I use a lot of hypnotic language when I'm talking to people. I probably use it without even realising a lot of the time. But if it influences someone, like I like the word manipulation in a positive light.
Yeah.
Can I manipulate people to be happy? Can I manipulate people to get what they want? Not for my good. And it's a difficult word, using manipulation, because the word manipulation...
Very negative when people hear it.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me to say I want to manipulate people... Yeah. It may come across as sounding negative, but it's like, no, I want to manipulate people for them to get what they want. Yeah. Because right now their mind doesn't accept you are beautiful and amazing every single way, but there's room for improvement. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy, I'm very confident, and I'm very happy where I am. But I'm not even 1% of where I want to be. But that doesn't mean I'm not happy, I'm not grateful, and I'm not glad of where I am. And I'm also so proud of who I've become from who I used to be. Yeah. But there's always room for improvement. So sort of accept where you are now and be like, okay, Joe, what? I'm overweight. Yeah. I need to lose weight. Yes, don't body shame people, especially someone who's actively trying to change that. Yeah. But we've got to be or uncomfortable to want to make those changes. So looking at yourself and feeling, I look in the mirror and all I see is I just don't really like it. Yeah. That's a good sign for you to start changing. That's a good sign for you to get up, and whether you have to ask 10 people, what do I do? Whether you have to watch a YouTube video, maybe you're too scared to go to the gym, start with home workouts. That's what I did. Yeah. Go for runs, do you know what I mean? And start where you're most comfortable. Don't put yourself in too uncomfortable territories. I always recommend getting outside your comfort zone, because that's the only place you're going to change. But just start where you're at. Do you know what I mean? If you can't afford a gym membership,
you can go outside. You could do a few push-ups at home.
Go for a walk.
Look at the guys in prison. You know, they've got exceptional bodies and they've got limited facilities, or they're doing solitary confinement, and you're like, fucking hell, that guy's ripped. He's a beast. Yeah. Well, he's sitting in his cell and he's doing 1,000 sit-ups. They ain't got nothing else to do.
Oh, exactly.
If you want to binge watch Netflix in the evening and you do 1,000 sit-ups while you're doing it, or
you're getting something positive. Yeah. I mean, like, that's so true. If you are not flexible while you're watching TV, do some stretches. Yeah. If you're... Do you know what I mean? There's certain things you can't do. Do you know what I mean? Like in regards to you can't meditate and watch TV. You can't. No. I always recommend to reduce doing too many things at once, because then we start to get a bit scattered with our life. Yeah. But when I go for a walk, I listen to an audiobook. Yeah. I'll take a dog for a walk, I listen to an audiobook. I'm sort of killing two birds with one stone. When I'm working, I'll put some YouTube on in the background. I'll listen to Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, all those type of people, and it's going in my mind. I absolutely love the stuff. Absolutely love the man. He is literally like you know people are like, oh, this is my man crush Monday or whatever. Yeah. Like they say this and they're like Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm like, nah, Joe Dispenza. Yeah.
The amount of times I say to people, they'll be like, I'm ill. Watch Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's not going to cure my illness. Just watch it. Just watch it.
Joe Dispenza will cure your illness.
Yeah. And it's people they don't want to hear it. A lot of people. Do you ever find, in respect to what you do, what you teach, how you help people, do you think a lot of people are closed-minded as well? So you'll be like, watch Joe Dispenza, be like, fuck off, not working. Well, you don't know because you haven't watched. Fuck off. And a lot of people just shut it down. Or if I say to people, they'd be like, I want to get into shape. I'm like, well, first off, stop eating fucking kebabs every night. Yeah. Secondly, maybe go for that jog or that walk. If you can't run, walk. Yeah. Then work up to a jog. Then work up to a run. Exactly. Slowly and surely you're going to work up to it. But a lot of people are like, nah, I'll do it Monday, or I'll brush it off, or it's not going to work. Do you find that there's a lot of people who just automatically shut a lot down?
Well, people that I work with, so I charge quite high ticket price, because when I work with people that pay more, results happen so much quicker. And I've actually tested this myself, so not just researched it. When I first started coaching, before I did hypnosis, for a year I'd work for free. Yeah. And I was like, what can I do to help people with the information I've got and what I already know. Started doing it, started seeing some change with people, and I was like, okay, cool. Spoke to a mentor, he was like, look, get yourself qualified in something.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I did NLP and then fell in love with hypnotic language, and I was like, oh my god, I want to hypnotise people, that is so cool. So I sort of started doing that, and when I wasn't charging, people were getting okay results. Now, it's inevitable people get results because there's skin in the game. We value money, we do.
Yeah.
So when people pay for something, they really do value it. And some people go, well, you're a bit selfish charging that much money. I'm like, well, not really. Like, how much is your mind actually worth?
Yeah.
Like, if I said to you, right, I'm going to now make you insane, there's one price or it costs £1 million for you to never be insane again.
Yeah.
Would you find that money?
Yeah, you're gonna find the money.
You're gonna
working it off, or you're gonna
you do whatever you can to get that money. If you've got 1 year to find £1 million, and then after that I'll make you insane.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna find that money. So it's like, how important is it for you? And if you're not that interested in making these changes, then you're not showing me enough commitment. I need commitment. Do you know what I mean? I always say to people, why do you want me to work with you? Yeah. So it's not can I help you? It's why do you want me to work with you? Is there a reason why you want me?
Yeah.
Then they're sort of creating that in their mind to say, oh shit, yeah, well, what if my life does screw up for the next 3 years? What if I don't change? What if I stay the same? What if I feel worse than I am now, but 5 years down the line?
Yeah.
Shit, I need to make those changes. It's got to be a must. So some people, they do. There is a lot of excuses, but now I say to people, there's no excuses with my work.
Yeah.
If you can't afford the one-to-one stuff, I've got so much free content. I've got a 30-day challenge on YouTube, meditation, to learn meditation and hypnosis for yourself.
Yeah.
So, I don't want those excuses to be there. I want people to be like, okay, I can't work with you yet. We'll do that one day.
Yeah.
My goal is I want to start running retreats out in Bali. I'm just waiting for travel to be a lot more accessible for everyone, because I don't want it to be
19th of July, come on.
Well, I just want it to be so accessible. I can't be bothered with anything. I don't want people to have to quarantine. I just want to get to the retreat, do the week.
Normality, yeah.
Exactly. So there's so many barriers to entry to work with me. If you can't afford, I couldn't afford to pay $2,500 to work with a coach. I couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
So I started listening to videos on YouTube. I couldn't even afford books.
Yeah.
Then I started to get audiobooks. Then I would ask for books for my birthday, for Christmas.
That's what I do.
my camera. When I started, so I got my first camera. I got my mum bought me for my birthday, it was like a digital camera, so it wasn't anything like this, the Canon ones. It was just a little Sony, I think it is. It's not brilliant quality.
Yeah.
I used that for my first 100 odd videos. And then it got to Christmas the next year. I was like, oh mum, can you get me a camera for Christmas? I really want it.
Yeah.
I didn't have any money. She got me the camera. I went from there. Started making more and more content. I used my resources. I didn't get a brand new camera. I knew she couldn't afford a brand new camera. So I found a second-hand one online that was refurbished, and it was a reasonable price. So, but now I'm in a place where I can. I bought all my setup. I bought my phone. I bought my computer. I bought all my new camera equipment. I pretty much paid for half my office, because me and my stepdad, we both built 2 offices basically.
Yeah.
So I was able to pay for that. But before I couldn't. I worked in my bedroom. Yeah. And I just I always say to people, I don't have a deck of cards on me. I always carry a deck of cards. I just love shuffling cards. I love doing a few little magic tricks. But not a few. There's one magic trick I can do, and I love it. But I always say, the card you've been dealt are the cards you've been dealt. If you ever played blackjack, you get a jack and a 9, you got 19. That's a good hand. Yeah. I'd stick with that. I wouldn't bother getting another card. I'd be like, stick. What if someone has an ace and a king? They win. Yeah. It's not you didn't have a bad hand. They just fortunately had a better hand. Yeah. So the way that I look at life is, okay, you've got an iPhone. Let's say you've got an iPhone 6. Yeah. Start filming your stuff on iPhone 6. Yeah. Then people start to see your journey and go, oh, he's getting better quality. Yeah. You're able to buy a new phone. That's amazing, man. You should be proud of yourself. And I feel like it's all a process. And what you said earlier about walk before you can run is so necessary. So many people, especially going to the gym, I always use that as an example. You don't go to the gym 7 days a week, 2 hours a day, twice a day, only eat salads and only drink protein shakes when you first go.
No way.
There's people that do, and that is sustainable for some people. Not
But
for
you'll
me.
hate it. In the end, you'll hate it.
Exactly.
Because you've just jumped in some deep end, and then you stop going, and you'll be stopped going by. You start on a Monday, but by the Wednesday, you're like, fuck this life. Fuck this. Why do I have to eat salad? Why can't I eat chocolate? Why?
Yeah.
You can still have treats. You can still have a cheat day. You can still, you know, you don't have to go sweat it out 2 hours every day. I mean, I did for a while, but you know.
But it probably served you at the time, though, didn't it?
Yeah, I was on loads of steroids, and that was 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, and just Red Bulls and energy drinks and
Probably didn't serve your body then.
Oh, my body was shot. I was just sweating buckets full on all day. I'd wake up and there's a puddle in the bed.
Jesus.
But then there's that extremism, or there's somebody who's like, I want to change my body a little bit. I want to lose a little bit of fat. Change the chocolate bar at lunchtime, or the curry at lunchtime.
Strawberries.
Just a quick change there. Not much, but it's a little change. But compound effect that, and boom.
That's it.
You've got the long-term change that you want. And a lot of people run in and they jump in the deep end and they're like, oh, I fucking hate that. Same with books, education. They're like, well, I jumped onto this evening course. Now I do it 4 hours every evening, and I watch shit. Like, mate, cut it down to an hour. Go watch your TV as well for an hour.
Yeah.
Go do your washing up for an hour and have a bath for an
100%.
hour. You jump in at 4 hours of trying to learn something new. You're gonna be pissed off by the end of the 4 hours. Like, I spent 4 hours learning that. I'm so drained.
Well, contrary to what because I do believe that.
Yeah.
Unless there's the biggest desire and reason why you're doing something, then you can do it. For example, let's say someone said, right, you will, or I'll give myself as an example. When I first saw Hypnosis, I was like, I need to learn this like now. I need to learn it yesterday.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the idea of being able to help people so quickly. And I remember the first hypnosis course I did, it took me about 30 days. I became a qualified hypnotist in 30 days, basically. Then so I went hypnotist, then I did a hypnotherapy practitioner qualification, then I did an advanced hypnotherapy qualification, and I've also worked with a mentor who runs a hypnotherapy school who like helped me out, so I'm sort of qualified under him as well.
So that's some real investment.
I've spent all my money that I earn, my business has earned, either equipment. I don't buy myself stuff. I really don't. If it's stuff, it's a phone which I use for work. It's a camera that I need. It's a microphone because it's better. It's another microphone for me to record meditations. I don't buy myself stuff. I think the only thing that I've actually bought myself that wasn't really needed, well, it was at the time, was my car. Which again I got very cheap because I was looking at, basically my car broke down and I was like, it costs 1,000 to fix, it's worth 600 quid. I was like, what is the point in keeping it? I end up selling it, and I said to it, I was like, look, the car's messed up, you can have it for this price. I just can't go off to fix it. I don't want to be like trying to screw someone over. I was like, this is the issue. If you want to get it fixed, you get it fixed, or you can scrap it. It's completely down to you. And then I was looking at getting a loan to get a car because I had the cash. I just didn't want to spend it all at once. So this first time I actually had some cash, and I'd rather invest it. So I've chucked some money into some crypto and stuff like that. But I didn't want to spend all my money. So I spoke to I was going to get a loan. I ended up speaking to my grandparents. Like, would you be able to loan me some money and I'll pay you back? And they were like, yeah, of course. How much you want? So I don't know. I was thinking about getting an Audi or a BM or a Merc or something like that. And then my granddad said, oh, I'm actually thinking of selling my car, which is that Golf. Nothing wrong with it. Do you know how many miles it's done? 15,000 when I bought it. 13 plate car. I looked at how much it's worth. He sold it to me at the low end.
Yeah.
Like $6,000. It's worth about $9,000. So it's actually an investment in me buying that.
Yeah.
So it's not even. It wasn't even something a luxury that I bought. I'll tell you what. The only thing that I bought. No. Again, it's a luxury. It's a luxury, but I use it and I get a lot from it. It's a paddle board. I go down the beach all the time.
Yeah, but do you feel like a lot of people they either over luxury buy or they under luxury buy, which then annoys them because then they're like, oh, I wish I could do that. But you can, but you just choose not to, because people can have that excess of income to work towards something that they want. So you've got everything that you want, and you use most of it, or if not all of it, for a positive need or a positive aspect. I think a lot of people go out there and be like, yes, I've got the newest pair of Jordans. Like, you're broke as shit. Why are you buying trainers? Like,
that was me. Literally, that was me. I would earn $1,000 a month when I used to be a builder. Every 3 weeks a month, buy a new pair of Jordans. I literally had a stack of like 15 boxes of 4s, 6s, 11s. Like, I was like, oh, I might get into it when I started to want to make some money. Oh, I might trade shoes and start selling shoes and that stuff. I was broke, but my shoes made me my outfit. Like now, like all my stuff. I don't really have any. This is designer, but this is a fake T-shirt. I got it in Turkey.
Same.
I've got that in white actually. I don't buy expensive stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I love watches. Absolutely love watches. I've got a couple of fake watches. I love them. And I was generally debating. You know, I was talking about Avengers. I saw did you see the Black Panther AP that came out?
No.
Oh my god! I saw it and I was like, how much is it? I'm really actually debating
That's got to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, 120 grand. I was like, yeah, maybe not.
No.
But I was debating and getting a nice watch, and I was like, look, fuck it. It will be an investment because it would hold its value. So should I do it? Thought about it, and I was like, nah. I'd rather the money be in the crypto because it's like fluctuating. Like at the minute, I'm down a lot of money, which was quite a hard hit, but that then serves me to say when I'm putting a lot more money in investments in the future, I'm not worried about jumping. Like literally in one day it dropped like 15 grand and I was like, ooh, I've never even had that much money before. And it dropped that much and I was like, Jesus, that's a lot of money. But it's part of the process and I'm willing to accept that now because I know there's going to be times where I'm going to make investments that are going to make a lot of money. There's going to be times where I'm going to make investments and I'm going to lose a lot of money and I'm going to be like, it's just the way the world works.
Coming back to those watches, I only found out, I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago. Now, I always used to look at people and be like, fucking hell, he's got a nice watch. And we all do. We're like, oh, he's got a nice watch, must be making it. Got a nice car, must be making it. And we assume that they're doing really well in life. I didn't know you could finance watches till about a year ago or 2 years ago. And I'd always see this guy around town and I'm like, oh, he's got a nice Rolex. And people are like, yeah, it's a real one. I'm like, fucking hell, he must earn a bit. You know, you're talking maybe, you know, I think the low end Rolex is a 5 grand.
Yeah,
and then
3 and 5 grand, I think. Then you go up to
and I think his watch was, I think it is 15 to £20,000. I'm like, fucking hell, that's a nice watch. And then people started saying, you know, it's finance. I was like, shut up, you can't finance watches, don't be silly. And it was like, I was like,
you can finance everything now, you can finance phone.
You
can finance sofas.
And I thought to myself, what the fuck? Who the fuck finances a watch to go out on a night out just to fucking flash it off? And I'm thinking, I would hate to pay every single month for a watch that relatively could get lost, it could get broken, it could get stolen. I think to myself, wow, we really do finance a lot in life. You know,
finance our life. At the end of the day. I feel like one of the greatest lessons I learned from the entrepreneur space was never buy something unless you can buy it 3 times over.
Yeah, that's nice.
I feel like there's some things that you have to maybe compromise with. Not necessarily compromise. I was in a space where I could have bought a bit more of an expensive car. It would have put me back a little bit more. I'm very lucky, which again I believe I created that luck to get such a very good value car.
Yeah.
Some people, like you said, they go out and they'll go and get a C63, and they're spending about £1,000, £1,200 a month, and they earn £2.5 grand. And you're like, look, be logical here.
Yeah.
If your monthly income not from work, if your monthly income from work is about 5k, I think you're going to be comfortable.
Yeah.
But you're still not got job security. So for me, when I make money, it's always right. Where can this go to either make me more money or to create some form of passive income? I'm not at a point where I have passive income streams yet.
Yeah.
But that's why I do YouTube, because long term, it's going to pay me.
Yeah.
I'm in the creator fund now. It literally pays about £5 a month, if that. So I can't actually cash out. You got to wait till you're at 60 quid. I literally only just joined it. But the greatest piece of advice I ever got was, whenever you earn money, invest it into a stream of income that can then pay for the asset. And someone said this the other day. They asked an entrepreneur, I can't remember his name, Rob Moore, I think his name was.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've seen
his book, it's a money book.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he said, he was like, this guy messaged him and was like, I really want an M3. I've got 50k and I've always wanted an M3 my whole life. Yeah. And he literally goes, no! He's like, don't do it. Invest that 50k into a house that pays you, like, because you can't, I don't know too much about property yet, but I'm still want to learn all that stuff. Invest that 50k, get the deposit, let's say you're paying 20, 30 grand, and then you get a house that you end up doing up, cost you a little bit of money, or you do it yourself, however you want to do it, you rent it out, and you're earning £1,200 a month from that, let's say. That may be a bit overestimated, but let's say £1,000. Okay, you've now got £1,000 passive that is going to come in whether you sleep, whether you are on holiday, whatever you're doing. Then you finance the car. And I was like, that's so, I've never thought of that, but that is so true.
Yeah, and then pays for itself then.
Exactly. What happens if you've got earn £5 grand a month, let's say you earn 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
then you get fired, or you have health issues and you can't go to work, you're stuck in a contract.
Yeah, your car's gone.
Hate contracts.
Yeah.
I hate contract. My phone outright, all the stuff. I don't like getting into finance. That's why I spoke to my grandparents. I was like, I beg you, please let me finance it off you. They were like, yeah, of course. I was like, yes. Oh, that's so good. Not everyone's in that position, which I understand. But then I feel like it's such a beneficial way. It's just don't always use your own money. Like use money that is going to pay you. I feel like that's something that we do need to learn. I've only recently learned a lot of this stuff about like the passive income. I've always wanted to make passive income. I didn't know how to. Now I'm looking at different avenues of what I can do.
Good book is Automatic Customer.
Okay, who's that by?
Or I don't know. I've read it 3 times now.
I'm gonna write that down.
Automatic Customer. So it's about basing your whole business platform on automatic customers.
Got you.
So with the media company that I run, it's great to say to a person, look, I can do you a video, we can film it, we can produce it, it's going to cost $1,500. They're like, yeah, that's fine. I hate that. Then I've got $1,500 that's coming in, then I budget for the $1,500. Or I say to somebody, look, I can set you up a finance plan and you can pay me the $1,500, but you can pay me $500 per month for the next 3 months. Then I know for the next 3 months I'm guaranteed to get $500 per month, and I haven't got to chase the next customer.
True.
And then it comes down to I also sell advertising space on like local websites for people now, and they're really, really cheap. You know, people be like, "What? I can advertise with you for $14.99 per month." Yeah. You can. It's so cheap, and you'll reach hundreds of people, and it's really, really easy. And these people are spending £50 per month on social media ads that are not actually working. I'm like, I'm getting you local, and they're like, yeah, that's really good. I'm like, right, £15 per month for you, and I'll get you on the adverts, and I'll even give you shout outs. They're like, oh, that's really good. I'm like, no problem. Now I know that's guaranteed £15 per month. You times that by 10, that's £150 per month.
Exactly.
And all I'm doing is advertising people locally, and they're like, yeah, that's really, they're getting a great deal. But then automatically, I know per month I'm guaranteed 150 from there. I'm guaranteed 500 from there.
Exactly.
And then when I laid it down, I was like, fucking hell, I don't want big payments ever again. I don't want people to say to me, can I give you 10 grand? No, give me $1,000 for the next 10 months. And I love the idea of that, because then you can finance your own ins and outs.
Very true.
And it comes down to when you read the book, you're like, fucking hell, everybody's done this. There's a company in America that does automatic payments of black socks. So a lot of people who wear suits in America,
Got you.
every
Makes
month
sense.
they'll buy a new pair of black socks, and this company is a multi-million-pound company. All they do is send out cheap black socks, but then that person doesn't have to think about going to buy new black socks.
Very true. And I bet it's probably like five a month or something.
Yeah, something silly like $5 a month, and they'll get a new pair of black socks. Now that person automatically will just let that keep going. It's only $5, but I get my new socks.
Well, if they're wearing a suit, they're in a job that pays them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? $5 is $5. It's a Netflix subscription. Do you know what I mean? It's a cup of coffee a month.
Prime. When I was reading the book, it talks about Prime, and I'm an Amazon Prime customer. Same. Yourself? Everybody
is.
Yeah. And
that's why I got that next day when I bought it.
Exactly. I won't buy anything unless it's on Prime. I'm getting it tomorrow.
That's on instant gratification. I'll touch on that in a minute.
But Prime didn't actually set up their Prime to get the £79 or whatever it is per year. They set up because 80% of people on Prime buy more on Prime because they know they can get it the next day.
Interesting.
So they don't care about your 70 quid or 80 quid per year for your Prime prescription. The £1 billion company, they're making billions a day. They don't care about everybody's £80. They care about the person who's... Yeah, we feel like it's an investment. I'm feeling like I'm paying a yearly investment.
Yeah.
I've got to buy from Prime. Wait a minute.
True. You feel obliged to, sort of.
Yeah. And they said the only reason they did that is not because they wanted the subscription money. The subscription money, they want people who are invested in their company who then turn to them first to buy.
100%.
And
well, they got to go to it. Because then that also wants suppliers to advertise on Amazon.
Yeah.
Then it increases their revenue, and then they do help people.
People are more likely to buy off Amazon. Even if I needed a new phone or a new camera, I'm not going to Jessop's, I'm not going to Carphone Warehouse.
No, can't be bothered.
No, I'm going to Prime.
Yeah.
You know?
The only thing I did do, I bought my phone off Apple. I didn't buy it off Amazon, I did buy it off Apple. But in fairness, when I bought the Rode mic, I looked on Rode, it was more expensive than it was on Amazon.
Exactly,
so
that's what I did.
Of course I'm going on Amazon, let's come next day.
Yeah.
But what you said there about the instant gratification, what I was saying about it was, I've got this, it's called a pull-up, mate. It's like a outside
over the
gym.
bar?
Yeah, so it's got
the
like
door frames.
No, it's an outside one.
Oh, the frames.
Yeah, it's a full-on frame, so you can like pull it apart, put it into a dip bar. You can flip it over, you do press ups, and I'm learning like all calisthenics, like handstands and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So I bought that, and it was £100 or something, and it took I think about between 7 to 10 days to come.
Yeah.
Forgot about it after day 3 because it didn't come next day. and I was like, this is a really good lesson actually. Although it's stupid, it's a good lesson to say, you want something? Fucking wait.
Yeah.
Fucking wait. You really want it? Wait. Because we live in a world which I think is good. It's good that we can get stuff next day. I bought my Rode mic it came on Saturday. So I bought it on Friday. Came on Saturday, perfect timing because I wanted to shoot another video, and I've now been able to set up my camera so I can leave it further away so it can be a bit more, it's not just my face, because before my office isn't massive, it's only like a little rectangle, so I could only get the camera so far away because it had to be plugged into the mic, whereas now I've got the wireless mic, so it makes it easier for me. But yeah, Prime has, like you said, I just have a browse on there sometimes. What do I want? Oh, I want a new microphone. Let's see what the best options are. Should I get the Rode? Should I get this one? Should I get that one? Start going and looking at reviews.
I don't look at anywhere else.
Straight back.
Like you said, watches. I like watches. This is my cheapest watch. This is a £25 Casio watch. Yeah. It's got a little light on it. It's got an alarm on it. It's got a stopwatch on it, and this is the cheapest watch. Yeah. I've also got an Armani watch that costs 3-4 times the price of this. Yeah. Only tells me the time. Yeah. And this one does all the bits. I'm like, true. It's ridiculous. But the other day I was like, I'd like a new watch. I don't need it, but I was, as you say, browsing, and I'm sitting there like, I'd like a new watch. So I looked on Prime, and I was like, I could get that tomorrow. I could get that tomorrow. I could get that.
And I can finance it.
Yeah, you're thinking just like, fuck, you don't, I talked to myself out. I was like, one, you don't need a new watch, and two, why the fuck do you need a watch tomorrow when you've got one on your wrist right now?
So true.
And I spoke myself out of it, because my other Armani watch